Each district in Duval County has priorities. Well, who's tackling the topic of homelessness? First-term Councilman Rahman Johnson joins us. We'll also dive into infrastructure improvements on the west side. Now, how does Jacksonville fight back against racism and hate? Two groups are tackling the issue head-on.
Certainly the Y and the J, we have very similar missions. Despite what letter might be in our name, our mission is the same, to try to help improve the community and bring everyone together.
We'll explain Together Against Hate and how you can get involved. And a look at the future, which is knocking on the doorsteps of downtown Jacksonville. Innovator and entrepreneur Matthew Chang joins us on This Week in Jacksonville. Thanks for being here today. So this week, Jacksonville City Council is going to vote on the new budget for the coming fiscal year. There is a lot going on for council members, and roughly half the council are newcomers to the role. Rahman Johnson, representing City Council District 14, joining us this morning. I've been looking forward to a chance to have you in and get to visit about things going on here.
My friend, this is old hat. You know, as an anchor reporter, I started my career as a PA here 100 years ago. So
at WJXT.
Good to be home, right here at WJXT.
How about that? Yeah. Well, a lot of distinct topics to cover. I wanted to start, and really, sorry about coming out with the heaviest thing we could talk about right off, but it is something that we're talking about. The ripple effects from what happened 4 weeks ago with this racially motivated killing near Edward Waters University, where you teach as a professor. So tell me how this has affected you and what you're hearing from the people that you represent.
So the students, number one, at Edward Waters first, even though I am, many of them are still trying to process it, but I guess that's where my heart is initially, and because it happened in that community. And so me, as an Edward Waters graduate and as a professor there, they are still trying to cope with and figure out why. There's some who don't even want to come out of their dorm rooms, you know, to go to classes because they're like, well, who's next? When is it next? And I, too, have experienced that, going into a store and starting to pick out, well, what exits do I take?
How about that?
And it's not
so unfair.
It's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
So there's still those questions that exist, but as I have explained to the students, as I've explained to my colleagues on the faculty and others, what's most important is that we figure out how to learn and heal, and that is not a process that's public. It's individual, but it's also something that we have to find that space within ourselves and do the work publicly, meaning that we've got to go into these places so that the initiatives, especially on the legislative level, that are implemented, or the rhetoric that's being talked about on the state level and other places that may have caused this, we have got to address the root concern of issues that bring out things like we just saw a few weeks ago.
So what do you see being done to push back against these hate-filled actions? What do you want to see done?
So I just got some, here on the local level, I just got a bit of legislation across my desk where our council is looking to enact a resolution where we not only mourn the members that lost their lives, or those community members that lost their lives, but also a resolution to stand against hate, to stand against divisive rhetoric. So that's number one, and it starts with the local level, but it's kind of like that each one teach one. There was a great institute when I was growing up, and I think it may still be around with the Jewish Community Alliance. It was called Metrotown, and it was a way for people of different cultures and faiths and ethnicities and religions to come together and learn. And I think we need more of that, more connection. And I believe that we're doing it in the community, right? I believe that we are taking the steps to engage people who don't look like us. And in a way, we've drifted apart. And as unfortunate and as sad as this incident is, it's allowed us a chance to say, we have drifted apart. What can we do to reconnect as a community?
So definitely on our show this morning, on our next segment, we're going to talk about an effort going on locally that is called Together Against Hate. In the meantime, let's talk about this. How do you feel about the budget? Because this week, y'all are going to vote on it, yes or no?
Ooh, let me tell you. So this is my first budget as a member of the Jacksonville City Council, and it is...
Is it tough?
It is, I will tell you, for those people that really enjoy sausage, it's really, really delicious at the end, but making it, if you've ever seen sausage being made, you do not want to eat it. And that's how the budget is. It's a sausage-making process. I think there's some really bright spots in it. We're going to see some things for the upliftment of Jacksonville. I know I specifically have proposed, I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and so the Black Greek letter organizations that have done so much independently, I put in some funds for them to continue their youth programming, their funds for the Chandra Cheeseboro track meet, and a lot of really great projects that are passion projects for my colleagues on the council, but they're things like the mayor's initiative to make sure that our city looks better, that we're keeping up the lawn and the increase in ground space. And so there's a lot of great things I think we'll see in this budget, but I think it's going to be important for the community to provide even more input. That's one thing I think that we may have missed the ball on. It's a new administration, a new council, and then as soon as we get there, we're thrown into the budget season.
It's pretty quick turnaround there.
This is a time for now community to reach out to us via email, via phone, and say, here's what we want to see to move Jacksonville forward.
So, and we get viewers, community members talking to us, hey, you should cover this, or what is being done about it? And one of those topics is homelessness. You said that you've got some work that you're trying to do in terms of homelessness in Jacksonville.
Absolutely. The J1 bill, I am sorry to say that it was defeated in committee. I do sit on the Rules Committee, and it did not make it out of committee. I was the only vote that voted not to withdraw it. It will come in front of the full council coming up on Tuesday when we do vote on the budget. But I will tell you, most importantly, it's something we must do something about. Here's the thing. I'm not looking to vote for a tax. I'm not looking to tax people in Jacksonville. But we need every tool that we can find in the toolbox available so that our homeless problem here in Jacksonville won't exacerbate. We're looking now, the majority of people that are homeless are not the chronic homeless, they're first-time homeless because of the housing crunch that we have here. That's what statistics say. So what do we do? And right now there's no dedicated funding source for it. Did the J1 bill say that we would tax people specifically right now? No, it didn't. It was a resolution that would go to the Duval delegation, which would then go to this legislature to be reconciled by the House and the Senate, and then come back here, and then it would take a majority of the council to enact it. That would be years down the road, but at least we needed to start to have the conversation. And so right now I'm told, I was on the committee, and I don't even know, because obviously with Sunshine we can't talk, but the Rules Committee chair did say that he had something that he was going to bring to council on Tuesday. So that could add to the help of this problem. So I'm excited to see that. And the president of City Council, while we were there, Ron Salem, said that he and the mayor were each committing $500,000 from their respective budgets to create $1 million homeless trust fund to help people to keep from being the first-time homeless. So we have some great initiatives that are coming. And the beauty of this council, I know every council thinks they're the best, but there's so much innovation and vigor and energy on this council, and I couldn't be happier to be in this space where we can make some change for Jacksonville.
Well, before we run out of time, I know you want to talk about, hey, on the west side, improvements in infrastructure. What's happening there?
Great things. There were some streets that needed to be done over on Collins Road. I post about it. As you know, like I said, I spent most of my life on the news, so it's all about telling the story. And I'm out regularly as these projects are moving forward, so that there's a road project coming on Collins Road that I'm proposing now, the old Middleburg Road project, which we were supposed to widen it. It's been going on since 1999.
Forever.
For the Better Jacksonville Plan, right? The multi-billion-dollar Better Jacksonville Plan. Finally, we're seeing shovels in the ground in January of 2024 because I was able to come up with legislation that raised the cap of eminent domain from $5 million to $500,000. And excuse me, from $50,000. I'm thinking about another project, $50,000 to $500,000. And because of that raising of the cap, it now allows that program to start. So instead of having to go through parcel by parcel by parcel and bring that before the council and go through the 6-week process, now we are able to move it quickly in one fell swoop. So now shovels in the ground in January. So that's just the beginning. And there are several other projects, including parks and other roadways. I got a surprise park that's coming. And it's really an honor to have people in the community to knock on my door and call me and let me know, hey, this is what we need. I'm having fun. I said if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. As a storyteller like yourself, the stories I hear are so much fun, and it allows me to be able to tell those stories while I have told them as an anchor, and I've told them as an actor, and I've told them in the classroom. Now I'm able to tell them from the dais of City Council, and it's rewarding.
City Councilman, thanks for the time. Appreciate you being here this morning.
My friend, always good to see you.
All right.